No matter what anyone tells you, life is fucking bullshit. If you believe otherwise, you're delusional. Literally everything that you want out of life, you're gonna not only get obstacles, you're gonna get all this random fucking stuff that comes by and just ruins everything. And so you're never gonna be in a good headspace. I mean, maybe some people are out there, but for the most part, you're gonna get so much random bullshit come up your way constantly. It's relentless. It's like these waves, just keeps coming and coming. So what do? You gotta try, right? You struggle, you try to push forward. And every one step you take, you'll take 2 steps backwards. That's kind of how it feels. Like, I made a video about being an optimist, but that shit, I'm telling you, you gotta be a realist too. I don't even know what the fuck to say, honestly. Sometimes there's just things that'll happen that's out of your control that'll really mess you up. Really fuck you up. And in those moments, it's like, what the fuck are you gonna do? You can't do anything. You really can't. You're helpless in a situation which you can't control. Look at this. That's a dead lobster. That's the head of a dead lobster. If you look at the universe, just everything around you, it's constant struggle. There's always competition, this, competition, that. That's not the worst of it. Literally random things will happen. Like a comet can hit, a meteorite can just crash here and just destroy everything that the human species has been creating for thousands and thousands of years. There's no justice in the universe. Most of it is random patterns that happen. So what little control you have in your life, that's actually very limited if you really think about it. Look at this turtle just chilling here. You think that turtle doesn't have problems? Turtle's got problems too. Like, again, it's really weird that I'm talking about this in this beautiful beach in Hawaii. But just to put perspective in your life, that $1 million lost time, the video I made. See, again, look at this. I'm ranting in fucking Hawaii. But to give perspective, just a little glimpse of my problems. Alright, let me head back actually. You know when you feel like you really are not making progress? Like everything is just dwindling down and down and down, and you're just thinking, what the fuck? Like I made that video about losing $1 million, but it's not like I had millions and millions. I just had that one. So when you lose that, that's enough. People fucking commit suicide over shit like that. But to me, I'm like, you know what? It's not the end of the world. I still got my family. They're all right. So I don't take that too hard. But when one after the other bullshit comes, it's just ridiculous. It really is. And no one really likes somebody that complains, because everybody's got their own problems. Everyone's got issues. And you gotta the only thing you can do is deal with your own problems. You can't hope that someone or some higher being or the universe or whatever the fuck is gonna save you. So really, you gotta take it one step at a time. So why am I saying all this negative stuff? And the title of the video is something about positivity. So why would I title this, you have to be positive, you don't have a choice? Because guess what? Regardless of how you perceive situations around you, they'll still happen. Good stuff will happen to you, bad stuff will happen to you. And our brain, our RAS, whatever, reticular activation system, it usually focuses on the bad stuff. Because if you think about survival, for the longest time, our DNA has been surviving. It's very, very rare, or rather very recent, that we have the luxury to complain about our problems. That's a very, very new thing. Like every generation before us, the problems they had, there's no justice there. I was reading about this guy named Viktor Frankl. His dad died in a concentration camp at the age of 81. Where's the fucking God or justice in that? There's no higher universe guiding him to a concentration camp and having him tortured for years until he's finally done. There's no fucking justice there. And yet, through that, Viktor Frankl became this renowned psychologist, very well known in Russia. A lot of people love his work. So what the hell's happening there? What's happening is Viktor Frankl chose to see the positive in his life and work with the resources he had instead of what he lost. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that people face. I mean, in my case, it's really hard to enjoy a vacation or do anything at all in your life when you're going through tremendous financial loss. So when that's compounded with more financial losses and like trying to be a fuckboy, whatever, you're not getting the results you want, or your YouTube isn't growing as fast as you want, whatever the hell you're doing, it's really, really difficult to almost delusionally be positive about it, because there's very little, from what I see, to be actually positive about. So what do the greats do? Marcus Aurelius has this quote. It's like, you don't have control over outside events, but you have control over your mind, and there's strength in that. And he said that 2,000 years ago. So, like, even me ranting about this, I realize the stupidity of that rant, because for the most part, I don't have control over most things in my life. The very little that I do have control over, I try to push forward. I try to make something. I try to make content. I'm always really, really trying to improve every single thing that I'm doing. And I'm just in a plateau that's fucking going on forever, you know? And it's disgusting. Like, you don't understand. It's fucking disgusting to go to the markets every single day, and then week after week you're losing thousands and thousands of dollars, which again, your brain's like, oh, I could have spent this here, I could have spent this here, but instead what I do, I put it in the stock market to try to figure that shit out. It's really frustrating. I feel helpless, if I'm being honest. So the only thing you really can do is count your blessings. The fact that I'm in Hawaii, I have the privilege to make YouTube videos, I have the luxury of even losing money. Like most people's, if you look at, I don't know, I read this study somewhere where like most people in the world have less than $5,000 in savings. So even if I lost all my money and I just have like a few $1,000s left, it's still not the worst situation to be in, because I'm still doing the things that I love. Stocks, YouTube, women, blah, 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 whatever. But it fucking sucks. It really sucks. And when your life sucks, when you're in one turmoil after the other, and it seems like you're trying to put out fires every single fucking day, you're trying to put out one fire or the other, and some other random bullshit comes up, and it feels like you're not making any progress. The only thing you can do is be positive, because you can only control your mind. So if you look at all the gurus and stuff, I look at this shit, my hair is gone missing too. Trying to be Casanova while you're balding? Like, what the fuck? Things get stacked against you, inevitably. And you just have to keep moving forward at your pace, because each person's journey is different. So your journey is probably going to be completely different than what I'm talking about. But probably the feelings that you feel, feeling of helplessness, like you have no control over your life, like no matter what you're doing, nothing seems to be working, and whenever you have some kind of fix, it just keeps going completely wrong. If that keeps happening to you, well, that's all you can do. Like Marcus Aurelius, or Zeno has a good quote. Zeno was this guy in Scythium or some crap, basically ancient Greece, but he was on a boat, and in the boat ride, he had all his cargo, like I guess he was a merchant or whatever, but the boat was shipwrecked, and then he became a philosopher after that. But he lost everything. He lost absolutely everything in that. And he has a good quote. He's like, now that I have suffered shipwreck, I'm on a good journey. He said that thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. I think like 300 years before Jesus was even alive. So the human condition, regardless of where you are in the world, wherever you're watching this from, is going to be the same. And you're going to have so much bullshit piled up that it's so easy to focus on the negative. So easy to focus on it. And yet the only solution is really just to be grateful for the things that you do have. Like the fact that I'm talking to you, I'm holding this up with a hand. My hand hasn't been cut off yet. My limbs, I have all my limbs. I have a brain that functions most of the time correctly. All those things you gotta be grateful for. Yo, a turtle is about to get in the water. Let me see if I can capture this footage. Oh, that's crazy. Turtle go. Yo, that was cool. Wow. See, that little distraction just made me happy. So I guess I'm grateful for that. I have ADD and it makes me forget my problems from time to time. But really, if you do count your blessings, you'll be surprised at how many good things that you have or the resources you have going for you. Hell, the fact that we're even alive in a time where people are talking about universal basic income, all this stuff. It means that if you're in poverty, there's more hope now than ever. Even if it sucks, because it does fucking suck. I know for sure it sucks to have financial problems. I mean, I'm burning all my money, so might as well enjoy my life, right? Yeah. So just like that turtle swimming away into that water, it's got its own problems. Imagine, there's so much vicious stuff out there in the water that'll kill you and eat you, but you have to, as a turtle, still swim out there. That's just the cycle of the turtle's life. So the human life is riddled with misery, suffering, pain, negativity, bullshit that you can't imagine, cruelty that you can't imagine, and you'll go through it. Maybe not my version of, but you'll have your version. And when you go through it, it's super easy to be negative and bitter. But the only thing that does is make you salty. And when you're salty, you're not gonna get anywhere. Conversely, if you're just positive and thinking about only the good things, then you're gonna be blinded, because you'll be delusionally positive, which again isn't the best thing. You can't self-affirm. If your life is shit, you can't just be like, oh, my life is amazing, because your life is still shit. You gotta fix it yourself. So that's really the lesson. You have to keep fixing yourself, and you have to know that regardless of how much you fix yourself, everything can be just completely a waste of effort and time. And if that's the case, the only prudent solution that you can actually have in terms of how to manage your psyche is to focus on the things that you're grateful for. So that being said, it's very hard to be grateful sometimes. So really, you gotta take it one step at a time. And hopefully, things turn around. But if they don't, fuck everything else. Just do what you gotta do anyway.